The list of candidates for South Carolina's 1st Congressional District primary is filling up with at least 14 candidates vying for the coveted seat in Washington. Well, joining us now to share his platform and vision for the Lowcountry and beyond is Democratic candidate Mac Deford, U.S. Coast Guard veteran and attorney. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for your service.
Yeah, it was an honor.
You know, it's probably the most coveted seat in South Carolina. You're currently tied with Republican GOP leader Mark Smith. So I want our audience to get to know your platform a little bit better and why you would be the better choice to run the 1st Congressional District of South Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, I think it starts by acknowledging that this district has been without good leadership for the past 5 years, just about. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of challenges in this district, from the lack of affordable housing, infrastructure that's not keeping up with the growing population, but also that's not able to withstand the elements, and we're prone to storms here and hurricanes in this region, and we're grossly unprepared for that in terms of our infrastructure. Mm-hmm. We've got one of the worst educational systems in the country, so we're really falling behind in a lot of areas. And then up there at the national level, this administration has gone rogue in many ways and has not followed through on many of the things that they said that they were going to do. So they're going to lower the cost, but these tariffs that are illegal are actually raising the cost on everyone here in the Lowcountry, and it's hurting a lot of communities.
Now, I have to ask you, you referenced the last nearly 5 years, so obviously your politics are going to be very different from current Congresswoman Nancy Mace's. How would you say your Democratic predecessor Joe Cunningham did in representing the 1st District?
I think Joe did well. I think he provided a steady voice for the Lowcountry, and then after he served, Nancy came in, and it was more about who can dominate the room and who can be the loudest, who can get on cable TV the most, and take up the culture war issues. And I think that's not leadership. Leadership is about standing steady when the room is shaking, and we have not had that kind of leadership in a long time, and that's what I'm seeking to bring back to this district and represent this district, so that people can be proud regardless of what political affiliation they have.
For people who really want to start their career here, just finding a home that they can afford, whether it's an apartment, a condo, or a single-family home, is really difficult. Yeah. How would you go about changing that? How would you make it more affordable for folks to really live and stay in the state?
Sure. So a lot of people can't afford to live in the communities where they work or where they serve. Right. And that hurts all of us, regardless if you can afford housing, because that impacts the small businesses and their ability to be competitive and retain employees. It impacts public services. It impacts our hospitals. And that's an issue I have direct experience in. I believe I'm the only candidate in this race who has direct experience in bringing affordable housing to this district. When I was general counsel for the town of Hilton Head, which I would classify as a more conservative leaning area, the town there is spearheading workforce housing on its own. And so I was able to work on something that's called the North Point Housing Project, which is a municipal-led project that is going to bring an affordable rent-based community to that region for the workforce. Yeah. So I would like to expand that at a larger level. But I also think that we have regional housing trust funds, for example, around the country. We've got one down in Beaufort County. To my knowledge, we don't have one up here in Charleston. I know there's talk about that, but I would like to see those implemented. Yeah. And I would also like to see folks have access to capital for first-time home buyers, or perhaps senior citizens who are looking to downsize. Yeah. But when they're looking at, okay, if I downsize, I'm going to spend. I'm already priced out, even though I'm downsizing. Yeah,
exactly. I know, and that is a problem that's rampant all up and down the coastline. And how would you combat corruption? There's it's easy to say there's corruption basically in all government everywhere. It's not, particular here, but where do you see that there is corruption, and how would you go about correcting it?
Well, not all corruption is criminal.
Right. That's a good distinction.
Corruption is not always a foreign government gifting a $400 million jet to a sitting president. It's not always a sitting president establishing his own crypto coin,
Sure.
where businesses and billionaires can buy in good favor with him.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes corruption looks like members of Congress being able to trade stocks
Yeah.
and go into Congress in debt
Mm-hmm.
and come out with tens of millions of dollars. So that's a huge problem. That's something that I'm very focused on. And I have no problem calling Congress people out who are against banning congressional stock trading, and also calling folks out that advocate for it, but at the same time continue to do it.
Right.
So I think that we need to ban congressional stock trading and voting in the best interest of your stock portfolio and not the
Indeed.
people that you purportedly represent.
Well, for anyone who wants more information on your campaign, how to support you in any upcoming events, where should they go?
DefordForCongress.com is where our website is. We have an events tab there. We're actually having our first public town hall of the 2026 cycle.
Okay.
I'm the only candidate who's had a public town hall on February 12th
Okay.
at 6:30 p.m. at the Mount Pleasant Town Hall
Wonderful.
in Mount Pleasant.
Thank you so much, Mac, for joining us today. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll be back after this.